Lawrence O'Donnell. You're just joining the set. There is a sad irony here that Chris Stevens spent the last couple of years working to free the people of Libya and now died in that country.
Yeah, and it shows you that that there's the great areas of meaninglessness in our presidential campaigns. And for example, everyone's looking forward to the debates now, as we're going to learn a lot in the debates. You couldn't possibly have framed this as a debate question 2 days ago. What would you do if? And lay out everything that's happened in the last 24 hours. So you know, this will be a different news story 6 hours from now. It'll be a different news story tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to watch how the presidential campaigns try to keep pace with this. The Romney campaign already making a false move. It's something they should, you know, it's so easy in these situations when you're in the challenger campaign to just take a deep breath and say nothing, because the fact is, if you say something responsible and careful, it's just going to be ignored. The only thing that will get attention is if you say something stupid, which they've managed to do.
Take me behind the scenes, Lawrence, and because clearly we all recognize how stupid that response was and how political. The machinations that go on, this is unfolding. And okay, before that email goes out at 10 o'clock last night, who are the people actually pushing the buttons that make that? Does it go to Mitt? How does that happen that something stupid like that comes out?
It absolutely doesn't go to Mitt. And you could, and by the way, it wouldn't make any difference if it did. This is not an area where he would really have.
I'm just saying, so what's such a critical move? Who makes that call?
What you can see in it is this reactive energy. It's like, okay, Obama has to be wrong. Let's see, what words did he, what were the words in the presidential statement that we can attack? That's just, you can see, that's just their first reaction, their first instinct.
Chuck, Todd, I guess sort of the same question to you with regard to the mechanics within the White House over the past 12 hours on this question, and the increasingly tense relationship between the United States, between, I guess, specifically the President of the United States and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in this cascading scale of events in the Middle East.
Well, it's funny. It's like, how much do you lump together and how much do you try to separate? You know, yesterday, the dust-up in the Middle East before these protests escalated with the death of an on-duty ambassador in Libya. You had this back and forth between Netanyahu and the president. Netanyahu claiming he was snubbed. The Israelis, that when they were all going to be in New York for the opening of the UN General Assembly, that he wasn't getting a meeting with the president. He didn't understand why. Well, then they had a patch-it-up phone call last night where the White House said, hey, there was no invitation ever asked for, nor extended, nor denied. They're not going to be in New York at the same time. What was fascinating is this morning, the lead story in the Jerusalem Post is from the leading opposition leader in Israel attacking Netanyahu, saying, what regime do you want to change first? The one in the United States or the one in Iran? Wondering if Netanyahu was playing too much, getting too involved in our domestic politics. But I want to go back to this Romney. Lawrence is right. In moments like this, when you're the challenger campaign, if you're careful or say nothing, it gets ignored. The only way to get attention is to say something a little outrageous. And I have to say, I'm stunned. They put out this release when they did, before we knew all the facts, before daybreak, before we know for sure whether there are going to be protests that spread around the world. It seemed to be an irresponsible thing to do. And it's one that I think, I'm fascinated this morning to see that the Romney campaign, no mention, they put out a debt statement. I have a feeling they wish they had that moment back, that they wish they had that statement back. I understand where they feel like they are. They're chasing news cycles right now, and they feel as if they have to be involved in every news cycle, in every event, if the president's involved, in order to look on equal footing. But that was it was a bad mistake they made last night.
As we talk about the politics of this, let's not lose sight of the fact 4 Americans are dead. Joining us now from